Good morning, 10th standard students. I'm sure you're happy today, this morning, as the weather is good and all of you are fresh in the morning. And I'm sure you have your book with you as we continue our lesson for today in Merchant of Venice, Act 4, Scene 1. And we are with page 214. And the last what we saw was where uh, Graciano is trying to say Portia is a second Daniel, trying to be thankful the way the court scene has taken place and how it has been turned in favor of Antonio by the skill of Portia. That's what we saw yesterday, and today we are continuing from there. Uh, Portia is insisting that Jew or Shylock must have his pound of flesh and not the money. So here, Shylock is disturbed. He didn't know that he's going to be in problem because of his one adamant bond that he wanted a pound of flesh, and he has got into problem because of him. Now he says, shall I not have the barely my principal? Barely my principal refers to 3,000 ducats that he wants. He says, nothing else, at least give me my principal amount of 3,000 ducats. And Portia says, thou shalt have nothing but the forfeiture. We are on line 214, right on top. Shylock to Portia and Portia to Shylock. And she says, you will have only a pound of flesh and nothing else, to be so taken at thy peril. Okay, that is at your own risk. You have to take that. Remember, now we saw that she had told him not a drop of blood should be shed while taking the pound of flesh from Antonio's breast. And if you shed, you will forfeit all your land and property. It goes to the state of Venice. Now, Shylock is in problem because of this. And he says, oh, just give me my 3,000 ducats and nothing on it and let me go. Why then the devil give him good of it? I'll stay no longer question. Okay. Now he says, Shylock is cursing what? Antonio. Now he says, why then the devil give him? Okay, devil should give him here is Antonio, good for all this. And he says, I will not stay here to answer any more questions. Okay, I'll stay no longer a question. Okay, I'll here refers to Shylock. Okay, Portia to Shylock, tarry Jew, tarry here means wait, and Jew here refers to Shylock. The law hath yet another hold on you. Okay, there's another law that is pertaining to your case. It is enacted in the laws of Venice. If it be proved against an alien, alien is Shylock himself, that by direct or indirect attempts he seek the life of any citizen, that is any citizen of Venice, and that refers to Antonio. The party against the which he doth contrive. Okay, he here is Shylock is contriving the case against Antonio by taking his life indirectly and by asking for a pound of flesh. This is the party against the which he doth contrive. Contrive here means conspire. Shall seize one half his goods. He will seize half of the goods will be taken away from him, and the other half comes to the privy offer of the state. One half will be taken, and the other half will be given to the state of Venice. Okay, in which predicament and the offender's life lies in the mercy. Okay, now who is the offender? Earlier we see Antonio to be the offender, but right now it is Shylock trapped in his own uh, by the skill of Portia. He is becoming now offender, and Antonio is no more the offender here. He says, of the Duke only against all the other vices. All the other vices besides Duke, nobody else can have mercy on you. In which predicament means situation, I say, thou here is Shylock, standest, okay, you only have one chance to see. For it appears by manifest proceeding, manifest is clear proceedings of the court, that indirectly and directly too, okay, indirectly and directly too, thou hast contrived against the very life of the defendant. Thou here refers to Shylock, and contrived, conspired against the defendant, that is Antonio, and thou hast incurred the danger formerly by me rehearsed. Okay. Now here I had been telling you to show your mercy. I had given you the chance. Now you have no more mercy from here, and you have caused yourself to be in danger. Down therefore and beg mercy for the Duke. Okay. Now she says, you have to get down and ask mercy from the Duke. Now here we see the laws of Venice. When we look at the law of Venice, if a foreigner, that happens to be Shylock, plots against a person belonging to Venice, that is a Christian or Antonio, and if it prove against the foreigner, okay, here in this case, it is already proved against Shylock, who wants a pound of flesh, and that means he is determined to kill Antonio, the Venetian, okay. And if it proved against the foreigner, then the citizen of Venice will seize half of the foreigner's property. Okay. In that case, Antonio will have half of the property of Shylock, and half goes to the state. Okay. Foreigner's property. The other half will be paid into private treasury of the state. Now, the Shylock's property is divided into two. Half goes to Antonio, and the other half goes to the state of Venice. Okay. Of the Venice, of the offender. Offender here is a Shylock, may only retain his life by the mercy of the Duke. And he only can retain his life if Duke shows his mercy, and he can be sentenced to death in this case when plotting a murder against the citizen of Venice. And this is where Shylock is in deep trouble. Gratiano, beg that thou here is Shylock, mayst have his leave to hang thyself. Okay, now instead of Antonio, he should be hanged to death. Okay, thyself, hang thyself. Shylock, you should be hanged now. And yet thy wealth, okay, all your wealth is Shylock's wealth, being forfeit to the state, all goes to the state of Venice. Thou hast not left the value of God, okay, you have not left any means of saving yourself, therefore thou must be hanged at the state's charge. Okay, that means the charge which you were trying to get to Antonio and kill him, it comes back on to you, Shylock. Be ready to die. Duke, thou shalt see the difference of our spirits. Now Duke to Shylock. So now you see the difference of the spirit. When I advised you to show mercy to Antonio, you did not show. And I said, you might be wanting mercy. And in this case, now you are at my mercy. Okay. See the difference between your not showing mercy and mine. I have the right to show you mercy. I, okay, Duke, pardon thee, forgive you, thy life. Okay, I will not take away your life, even though you were plotting against the life of Antonio. So I have forgiven you. And before thy house, even before you asked me, I have forgiven you. For half thy wealth, it is Antonio's. Half of your wealth, but the wealth goes to Antonio half and half to the state of Venice. The other half comes to the general state, that is Venice, which humbleness may drive into fine. Okay, and this is a kind of a fine which is you will have to pay by forfeiting your land and state. I for the state, not for Antonio. Portia says, no, not for Antonio, only for the state. Nay, take my life and all, pardon not that. Okay, that means you take my life, but not my land. Okay, you take my house when you do take the proper. Okay, if, when you're taking my house, you're taking my property. Okay, even the house is taken away. That doth sustain my house. Okay, that is the house is my support where I go and take rest, and that also you are taking away from me. You take my life. Okay, you here is again to Duke. You can take my life also when you do take the means where I live. Now you are taking away the means where I live, the house where I am living, the money that I have gathered, the wealth that I have, you have taken. How can I live without all this? This is what Shylock is trying to tell Duke. Portia to Antonio, what mercy can you render him, Antonio? Okay, now she's asking Antonio, what kind of mercy you want to show to Shylock? Okay. Graciano, Halter gratis, nothing else for God's sake. This is a rope to hang himself. Okay. Halter gratis, a rope for hanging. That is what uh, Shylock must have, and nothing else for God's sake. Okay, because he was plotting against Antonio's life, and therefore he should be hanged. Antonio to court and the Duke, and he says, "So please, my lord, the Duke and all the court." My lord refers to Duke and the people seated in the audience as court proceedings are going on. To quit the fine for one half of his goods, I'm content. Okay, that means I do not want half of his goods. Uh, I'm content. Okay, I don't need anything. He says, so I here is Antonio. Okay, one half of his goods and Shylock's goods, property, half of his rupees market. I am content. Antonio is satisfied, so he will let me have the other half in use. Okay, he here is Shylock. He wants to use the other half of the money uh, for the betterment of his son-in-law and daughter, and the other half in use to render it upon his death. Okay, after he dies, unto the gentleman. Gentleman here refers to Lorenzo, the man who eloped with Jessica, the daughter of Shylock, that lately stole his daughter. Stole his daughter refers to Jessica, the daughter of Shylock. Okay, you remember in the previous scenes that Shylock, Lorenzo, and Jessica eloped with all the booties of Shylock himself. Two things provided more. Okay, now he says there are two more things I want him to do for this favor. He presently become a Christian. Okay, that's something which Shylock is not interested at all. He is happy as a Jew. He says first condition is that he should become a Christian. The other condition is that half of his, that he do record a gift here in the court. Okay, he should record a gift here of all that he possessed. Okay, before he dies, he has to write a will, sign a document that all my possession goes to my son-in-law and daughter, unto his son Lorenzo and his daughter. This is what Antonio wants for Jessica and Lorenzo, Duke to Shylock. He shall do this, or else I do recant. Okay. If he's not going to do, I will not pardon him. He will have to do, become a Christian and give the property so that after his death it goes to his daughter and his son-in-law, that I late pronounced. Okay, so we see here, art thou contented, Jew? Now Portia is asking Shylock, are you satisfied? Jew here is Shylock. What dost thou say? What do you have to say for this? I am content. He says, okay, I'm satisfied. Portia to the clerk, that is Narissa, draw a deed of contract, gift. She says, legal document, you make us on the stamp paper and let write that the transfer of property goes to the state and his daughter and son-in-law. I pray you give me leave to go from hence. I am not well, send the deed after me and I will sign it. Okay, Shylock has got a shock of his life. He's not in his sense and he does not know how to face all these people. So therefore he says, I want to go home. You send the deed to my home. I will sign the document. I'm not feeling well. That's the excuse Shylock is giving here. Get thee gone, but do it. Okay. Duke says, okay, you can go home, but you have to sign the papers. If in christening shall thou uh, in christening shall thou have two fathers. Now at christening we only have, christening here means becoming a Christian. According to Antonio's condition, he has to become a Christian. Instead of one, he will have two fathers. That's what Graciano is trying to be little witty here and trying to create some humor. Had I been judge, okay, if I was a judge, thou shouldst have had 10 more. Okay, that means you are a wicked person, cruel man who didn't want to show a mercy to Antonio. If I was the judge in the place of Portia, I would appoint 10 more judges for you. Okay, jury of 12. That makes not two godfathers to bring thee to gallows, to see that you are hanged on the gallows, not the font. Okay, and not given uh, mercy by Duke. Sir, I treat you home with me to dinner. Okay, Now, Duke is telling Portia, inviting Portia for a dinner in his home. I humbly do desire your grace of pardon. I must away this night toward Padua, and if it is meet, I presently set forth. He says, I would rather wish to have dinner with you, Your Majesty Duke, but I have to rush back to Padua and to meet Dr. Valerio. So he says, okay, fine. And so she gives an excuse of not being attending the dinner party at the Duke's place. I am sorry that your leisure serves you not. Antonio, gratify this gentleman, for in my mind you are much bound to him. Okay, now he says, okay, you're not willing to come to my home, so you have to rush back to Padua. So, Antonio, you pay in gratitude. Give her some gift so that uh, that some gratitude is shown from your side. This gentleman, and that is Portia, for in my mind you are much bound to him. According to me, you are obliged, you have to oblige. She has rescued you from your case. So now it's your turn to give her a gift of gratitude. Okay. Most worthy gentleman, I and my friend. Okay. Gentleman here refers to Portia. I and my friend refers to Bassanio, I, friend Antonio. Have by your wisdom been this day acquitted. Okay. By your skill and your wisdom, my friend Antonio has been freed from the bond of Shylock, of grievous penalties. He was about to lose his life, in lieu whereof, okay, uh, in lieu if uh, for that, okay, that's what it means. Uh, 3,000 ducats due unto you. The 3,000 ducats that I was giving to you, I want to give you as your fees or a gratitude from Antonio's side. We freely cope your courteous pains withal, your reward for the painful court case that went in favor of Antonio, and we want to give you these 3,000 ducats and stand indebted over and above in love and service to you evermore. And he says, we will be ever indebted to you. We can never repay you back. This 3,000 is nothing. It's just a token of our appreciation to you. I'm going to stop here at line 430. Okay, we continue here tomorrow. And another thing is that I want to take up a Zoom class for a language, and I want you to please uh, download your Zoom in your mobile so that we can have tomorrow's class, that is Thursday's class, we can have a language class on Zoom. I want all the students to download the Zoom in your mobiles. Let's go on with 152 workbook page, Act 4, scene 1 continued. And so here, but mercy is above this sceptered away. This is line 198. If you go on with your text here. Name the speaker. Why did the speaker appeal to the Jew for mercy? Earlier, who else in the play appealed for mercy? Portia is the speaker in these lines. Portia is the speaker in these lines. And she speaks for mercy. She speaks for mercy for Antonio, who is losing his life at the hands of Shylock, who is losing his life at the hands of Shylock. The Duke also appealed for mercy. The Duke also appealed for mercy from Shylock. What three qualities of mercy which speaker has stated just before the extract? The three qualities of mercy are: number one, mercy is powerful when practiced by a powerful person. Mercy is powerful when practiced by a powerful person. B, mercy is divine and comes from God. Mercy divine and comes from God. C. Mercy is king's symbol of authority. Mercy is king apostrophe S, symbol of authority for the people of his kingdom. Question number 3. Give the meaning of but mercy is above this scepter away. How does Shylock turn down Portia's plea for mercy? What does he insist on? The earthly power of king looks more like divine. The earthly power of the king looks more like divine. When the king shows his mercy, when the king shows his mercy for justice for his people. Full stop. Shylock turns away the plea for mercy because he feels he does not require mercy. He does not require mercy from others, and he is responsible for his deeds. He insists on his pound of flesh from Antonio's breast. He insists on a pound of flesh from Antonio's breast. Question number 4. Bassanio, what is Bassanio ready to do for Antonio in court? Why is Bassanio snapped immediately by the disguised Portia? Bassanio is ready to pay this amount to Shylock. Full stop. He is snapped by Portia as Portia wants to show justice to Shylock and also to save Antonio. Also to save Antonio. Question number 5. Mention 2 prominent character traits of Shylock. Okay, now here it says, my deeds upon my head. In quotes, put this in quotes. My deeds upon my head. Okay, this proves that he is responsible. This proves that he is responsible for his deeds as long as he gets his pound of flesh. As long as he gets his pound of flesh. Second, in quotes again, an oath, an oath. Quotes close, an oath, an oath. As per Shylock's oath against the heaven, as per Shylock's oath against heaven, he wishes to take only a pound of flesh. He wishes to take only a pound of flesh. Extract number 9, page 153. Tarry a little, there's something else, okay? The speaker is Portia here. Explain the context in which Portia speaks these lines. Portia is speaking these lines to Shylock as he is in a hurry, to take his pound of flesh from Antonio's breast, and Portia wants him to wait. Portia wants him to wait. Tarry a little, question number 2 on page 154. Comment on the line tarry a little, there is something else. Okay, here Portia wants to say something more. Portia wants to say something more to Shylock. And wants him to wait and listen to her before taking his pound of flesh. Wants him to wait and listen to her before taking his pound of flesh. Question number 3. What surprises and shocks Shylock? Portia tells Shylock to take only a pound of flesh, and while taking that, he should not drop even a single drop of blood. Full stop. If he does it, he will forfeit, F-O-R-F-E-I-T, he will forfeit his land and house, which will go to the state of Venice. This really shocks Shylock. This really shocks Shylock. Question number 4. What light does Portia's speech throw on the character? Portia has shown herself to be more witty, full of skill, and uses her intelligence power which shocks Shylock, from which he is unable to come out. From which he is unable to come out. How does Graciano react to Portia's speech immediately after she finishes it? Graciano is very happy. He refers to Portia as the second Daniel, who has trapped Shylock in this scene. Full stop. So this completes our extracts on scene 1. Tomorrow we will take the one extract from Act 4, Scene 2. There is only one extract there, and we will be completing that tomorrow. And we will also do a Zoom meeting tomorrow. After that, you can go over the video that I'm going to load up for tomorrow. God bless you, children. Take care. Have a good day.